Hey everyone, welcome back to another brand new video on my channel. Today's video, I am going to be telling you the reason why I'm not okay, why I'm not normal, why I'm very unstable, I guess. So, a lot of people on my YouTube for the past year, if not longer, have been saying, Boba, what's wrong with you, you're doing all this weird, well maybe not weird, but just crazy, strange, yeah, I guess it could be weird things, why are you doing all this stuff, why are you eating datura, why are you posting videos of yourself with blood on your face, why are you saying all this crazy stuff? And the truth is, I didn't really have a good childhood, I really didn't have a good childhood when I was younger. And you know when you're a kid, when you're a child, that's the most important part. If your childhood gets fucked up, it ain't good in the long term. Um, my childhood was lonely. My childhood was very lonely. I grew up, 5, 6, 7, 8, but as soon as I was about 8 years old, I was being abused. Um, Sometimes physically, mainly verbally, by my mother's ex boyfriend. And they were together for 8 years, so they broke up when I was about 16. And from age 8 to 16, it's a big, gap of childhood. There would be screaming, there would be shouting, there would be things being broken and smashed. I got physically hurt sometimes too. I was verbally abused pretty badly. Every time we tried to get it sorted out, it didn't really go to plan. They would always end up coming back together again because, we were kind of poor at the time, and he would get us things. He would get us a television and stuff like that, and he would manipulate situations like, I'll get you a television, but if you break up with me, then I'm taking it off you. Narcissistic, controlling, manipulative person. This lasted 8 years, like I said. Every week there was an argument. Every week. I'm not even lying. Every single week there was an argument where things would be broken, things would be smashed, and it stuck with me. It's stuck in my head, and I'm not very old. I'm 18. So it's basically taken over maybe about 70% of my life so far. So me being through all that and not having enough time, not having the proper help and the proper support, and getting involved with cutting my arms, cutting my legs, and being alone, and then having my obsessive compulsive disorder tell me to do things that I don't want to do, like punch yourself in the head and I'll be your best friend kind of OCD thing. Voices saying that you're not worth it, you don't mean anything, no one loves you, no one cares about you, and I'm the only one that cares about you unless you hurt yourself or cut yourself. So I would do it because I would trust this voice in my head to believe that, it's actually looking out for me if I do these things. And I did it, and it didn't help it. It just kept on controlling me, this thing in my head. And with all that abuse as well, it just really hurt. I was also bullied a lot when I was in school, not high school, before that, like the first school you go to. Bullied for about 8 years. Why am I saying eight? That's a coincidence. Maybe about 6 years. Yeah, about 6 years. And it was every day, pretty much, and it didn't make me depressed at the time because I was very young, and I was very very much happy, because I had my Xbox, I had games I was playing, but I think that's probably the big reasons why I'm not stable. I mean, when I would speak to psychiatrists and a psychologist about how I was feeling and my anxiety, because I would have panic attacks an awful lot, they weren't really focusing on my anxiety. They were trying to get an autism diagnosis instead. They were trying to get me diagnosed for autism instead. So whenever I would say about anxiety, they would just kind of be like, yeah, okay. Tell me more about, how you how you're able to do tasks and stuff related to my autism, you know? So they were mainly focused on my autism rather than anxiety and depression. But eventually I did get my diagnosis for both of those things. But after those arguments when I was in high school, I got myself a dissociated disorder called derealization, and it's from trauma. And I've had it ever since I've been in high school. And I never knew what it was at the time. I just used to call it a panic attack because that feeling of disassociation would lead into a panic attack. But I would just call them panic attacks because I didn't know what the feeling was called until I found out last year that it is dissociative disorder. But it was hard, you know. It was hard. It was very, very hard. I didn't like it at all. It wasn't good. But soon after, you know, when all of that stuff stopped, I got involved in drugs, you know, marijuana, inhalants, datura, you know, drugs like that. And I would take inhalants an awful lot, you know, and snort up aerosols and smoke marijuana, get high, take datura. Sometimes I would take inhalants and datura at the same time. I was suicidal. I didn't give a fuck about my life. I was focused on reincarnation, and I believed that, and I still do. I believe that, you know, when I die, I'll be reincarnated and I'll be reborn. And it's true, you know. That's what I believe in, because I always believed that, oh, if I die, I'll just be reborn and live again, because it's just a simulate reality kind of thing, you know. And I still believe that to this day, but that's how I've kind of lost my mind. That's kind of how I've went a bit kind of not well. That's how I've kind of went a bit kind of cuckoo sometimes, you know. And I don't know. Maybe that's why. That's the reason why a lot of people are asking me, you know, what's happened to you, you know. And before I used to cry. I used to cry an awful lot, you know. I would cut myself, like I said. I would cut my arms, cut my legs. I was going to school, and people found out about it. And not long after that, when people found out about it, people in school, especially girls, would ask me for videos of me cutting myself to know what it felt like. What nice people I met, huh? No. Bubba's been through some shit, you know. Shit. Real shit. I've seen horrific fucking things, you know. What seemed to be horrific to me, you know, people like that, you know, people that are just so fucking nasty like that, that's horrific to me. That's worse than seeing someone getting fucking shot in the head, in my personal opinion, you know. As soon as someone tells you that you're worthless and shit like that, like that's what the voice said in my head when I was about 14. But as soon as you start hearing that, especially from like actual people, your mental health goes really bad, and that's why words can actually hurt worse than physical pain. But people gotta realize that now, especially in 2022, people are suffering. You know, we just had a massive pandemic, you know, and people have been suffering, you know, and the world is a sick place, you know. I would consider myself being an okay person, you know, but that's kind of a short little thing on what Boba's life has been like. I never really had any friends growing up. Never had any friends. I was too focused on online, going on Kick and stuff like that, and chatting with men and stuff like that. I was too busy doing that. But 14, 15, you know, because it kept me away from, you know, cutting myself, and it helped me get out of my depression, I guess. But, you know, it was hard, it was difficult. It doesn't make me upset because I've cried too much about it in the past, so when I talk about it, I just kind of smile and laugh about it, because maybe it's the way that I'm able to cope. Maybe it's just because I'm too tired of it, you know, but that's what Boba's life has been like. It's definitely been a challenge, I guess, but as soon as I started making my YouTube videos on this channel, everything just felt a lot more better, you know. everything felt free, you know, I felt free. I felt like I could really talk to someone. You know, like when I'm talking to myself on my camera, I'm like, I feel like I'm talking to like the whole world when I do it. Because it's public, you know? Anyone can watch a video and it can get as many views as it want. Not that it will, but that's what Boba's life has been like, in case you were wondering. And that's how I've kind of gotten really bad with my mental health, you know? And it's not just me who are suffering, it's lots of other people in the world that are suffering. Because when you look at someone in the street who's walking by, you know, they might look like they're happy and safe, you know? But in reality, they could be going through something really bad, you know? And people need to understand, especially people that think that the internet is a joke or whatnot, you know, and it's fine to make fun of people online. People need to realize, but they won't realize, that people are suffering and you don't know who it is or where it is, where it's happening, you know? But yeah, that's my life so far. That's what's happened. That's what I've experienced. If you've got any questions, let me know in the comments. You know, as always, smile, be yourself, and from all that I've experienced, I can happily say that I'm glad, so happy that I'm weird. I'm so happy that I'm not normal. I'm so happy that I'm different, because normal sucks. Being a normal person sucks ass, and it sucks it hard too. You know, I hate being normal. I love weirdness. You know, I just love uniqueness, weirdness, everything like that. You know, if I see someone talking to a plant, I'm like, hey man, I wanna talk to the plants as well. You know, and that to me is amazing. You know, but to other people, it's weird. It's strange. It's not normal. It doesn't fit into society because it doesn't. But that's why I keep to myself. That's why I don't go around looking for boyfriends or girlfriends anymore, you know? Because it's pointless. You know? Anyway. Peace and love to you all. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for listening. Take care, and I'll see you in my next video. Peace.